the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take you through actually the object handling exercise, so you can see what an interesting sort of experience this can be, and on all the different things that can come up. And ultimately, Joni and I, our experience of this has been that you can choose virtually anything from around your home. It can be more exotic, or it can be completely mundane. So we have a couple things here that we've collected. One of them that I have is a rose quartz. So I don't know. I'm gonna share some stuff about that. So that's one. And we also have, for those of you who might have seen in the information and handouts, or even in Joni's YouTube, the Play-Doh recipe. So if you have Play-Doh too, you can even use your Play-Doh now if you want to for this. If you're feeling that block and you don't know what sort of object to choose, because there are so many choices from around your home, you can just use your Play-Doh. So I'll leave it up to Joni to surprise me what object she chose. So what's one word that describes your object?
My object?
Yeah, your object. What did you choose?
I'd say golden.
Golden. Okay.
Would you like me to show you my object?
Well, sure, you can if you like. Or you can wait to reveal. Oh, okay.
This is what it looks like.
Interesting. All right. So one word to describe my object, I think I would choose smooth. Yeah, smooth. It's very smooth. So is this object real or fake? Joni, is your object real or fake?
I would say it's real. There's it opens up to reveal some artwork inside. But I think it was a cigarette case at one point, or some of those old kind of tin cigarette cases. And
right.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah. And I would have to say that my little rock I have here is certainly real. Hope everybody can kind of see that. Okay, it's that soft color. So because obviously it's been made at some point by the earth compressing things to make a stone. So it would be considered to be real, I think, by most. And what do you think the object is? So we've sort of answered that a little bit, right?
Yeah. A box.
Yeah, it's it. And you said it may be a cigarette case from days gone by.
Yeah.
When they were kept in tins. And I've sort of already, let the cat out of the bag with mine, in that
what it is.
saying that it's a rose quartz. So yeah. So. But sometimes we don't always know what the object is, do we? Sometimes when people bring us an object, we're not sure. Or if your person with dementia might not know, or might not remember, or might not be able to articulate what they think it is. So sometimes that can lead to some fun sort of outcomes as well. Is the object familiar to you?
Well, growing up, these kinds of tins were not familiar to me. I think this was before my time. But this particular one is familiar to me because it's in my house and it was a gift from a friend. So
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I would say that this object is also familiar to me as well. The quartz that I chose. I've always been interested in healing and medicine and varying forms of that, from very traditional medical all the way into sort of more ethereal or experimental realms. So Yeah, I'm familiar with stones and quartz and different sort of healing objects like that, or things to be considered healing objects. So how do you think it was made?
Hmm. I feel like the case itself was made in a factory, but I know that the art part of it was made in a studio. So
Okay, so yours has that fun kind of combination of a few
it
different
does.
things going on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I sort of alluded to this earlier in that, my object was made by Mother Nature.
Hmm.
So she created uh, this little rock that I have here in her own studio.
Hmm.
So yeah, so that can be interesting to try and figure out where and how you think that came about. And so how does this object make you feel, Joni?
It makes me feel considered. I don't know how I describe it. Like someone was thinking of me when they made this, so it's
Right.
very thoughtful. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was made specifically for you, so that brings warm feelings, doesn't it, of someone
Hmm.
caring and creating something specially for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, for me, I guess, this was a gift for me as well too. So it gives me that sort of warm and fuzzy feeling of being cared about, that someone was thinking about me and thinking about me enough to get me a gift, and also to get me a gift that had specific properties that they were looking for in that gift
Hmm.
to pass on. So yeah, so it brings that sort of warm and cared for and loved feeling, which is also a feeling of security as well, right? And oftentimes our clients with dementia are seeking that kind of um, connection with people, being loved and cared for and supported.
Hmm.
Do you notice any interesting patterns or textures?
Yes. I don't know if the camera would pick this up, but there are some like lines that go this way. And I think that's because of the paper label that was underneath here at one point, and then she put gold leafing on top. So the gold leafing has really
Right.
brought out those lines.
Yeah, so it's accentuated that pattern a little bit then, hasn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, very nice. Yeah, well, like I say, I used smooth as my word earlier for my quartz here, and it probably is a little bit hard to tell in the camera, but there are some variations in color, and there are some lines and striations that run through the stone, and you can't see through it, but yet at the same time it almost has a slightly translucent sense about it. So
Hmm.
it's quite interesting in that respect. So if you own this object, which in this case we know we both do own
Hmm.
these particular objects, but where is it placed in your home, or where does it live, I guess, in your house?
Well, I have a bookcase that has a collection of little curiosities on it, and that's where it lives, on my little bookcase.
Yes, and mine is similar. It's a bit of a touchstone for me. So because of its shape and the smooth texture and all of that. So it lives in my office on a shelf with, like you say, other collectibles and curiosities and memorabilias.
Hmm.
So yeah. And what do you like about this object?
I think I like I don't know, it's got this element of it where I can open this up and it's just like a completely different world inside,
That is cool. Yeah.
there's a lot of movement and color inside. On the outside, it's very contained.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's actually, it's a really beautiful piece. Yeah, very nice.
Mhm.
And I think for me, I would say that, like I say, this is a bit of a touchstone for me. There's something about this object that is just endlessly touchable. I mean, it's smooth, the shape of it, everything. It picks up the warmth from your hand when you've been playing with it for a little while. So, um, all of those things are things that I particularly like about this object. Anything you dislike about it?
Uh, well, typically mustard yellow is not one of my favorite colors, so maybe the color.
Yeah, not top of your list. Yeah.
It's not top of my list. I have memories of wearing a terrible mustard yellow turtleneck in grade 5. I think it was grade 5, and being horribly made fun of for wearing that color. So,
That's funny, isn't it? Yeah, sometimes again, one of those emotional memories, right? That
yeah,
brought forward just by the color. And it's interesting that, because we have to also keep that in mind with our clientele too, right? Although our intentions might be to
hmm
create a really positive emotional experience, there are these things, and everybody's different, everybody's an
yeah,
individual, so you may inadvertently trigger something different than what you're hoping for. And if
yeah,
that's the case, then of course, working with that and trying to redirect that back to a more positive place.
yeah.
So
Yeah, sometimes it's good for them to get it off of their chest, but it has to be almost a contained amount of time. You can't keep lingering down that little road. You do
yeah,
have to at some point.
that's right. But it also, and that's a good point, Joni, because it also sometimes they just there it if the idea is to share and to connect in the moment and to connect through a medium of an object or art or something like that, then you do have to be open to what
hmm
comes forward and
Yeah,
sort of working through that with the
yeah,
person, right? Because either way, whether it's positive or not, they are sharing an experience, they're sharing
yeah,
a moment, and they're sharing a feeling with you, and you want to try and honor that best you can.
yeah. It's important to validate it, yeah, and not just gloss over whatever emotion they're feeling. Just let them know that they've been heard, and that you want them to be leaving feeling heard at least.
Yes, exactly. So I don't think there's anything in particular that I dislike about my object. So I'll move on to the final question in this exercise, which is there anything else you'd like to share about it?
I think I've shared pretty much everything that there is.
Okay. So the idea, hopefully people who are, watching us go through this little exercise is just to take these questions and apply them to virtually anything.
Mhm.
And it just sort of walks you through this process and stimulates that sharing and that reminiscence and that creating new memories, and just helps you engage with the person with dementia. And you never know, you might also find out some really interesting things. We've certainly experienced that over the years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Working with people. So again, this is here for you, as something that you can use as an exercise.